Life gets easier when you follow instructions. Hey, how's it going? I'm Isaac. Thanks for joining here on Motivation Inspired. Life gets better when you follow instructions, right? How many times people say that? When you follow instructions, it's going to get easier on you, okay? It's the truth. Now, I'm going to break down 4 practical points, okay? That's going to help you have a clear understanding and how to follow instructions. Now, I don't know about you, but when you go out and look for projects, perhaps buying a desk or maybe a shelf that you need in your house or have not, and you order it online, and all of a sudden it comes in boxes, a couple of boxes, and you get it in, you open up the instructions and you read it and and it seems kind of foreign, right? Well, maybe, just maybe, if you take the time and look at the instructions, you can probably end up finishing quicker than you expect. Or sometimes you just throw in the towel and say, hey, you know what? I don't think I could do it. I think I could just wing it and just put these nuts and bolts where it needs to go, and then that's where it needs to be. Okay? Well, let's look at Proverbs chapter 16, verse 20. I'm going to read this off my screen here. Those of you who listen to instructions will prosper. Okay? Very easy. So if you listen to instructions, you're going to get it, and life will be easier for you, right? Okay? Now, I'm telling you, where does it all start? Your attitude. Why are you having an attitude? Because you can't put the project together? Or you're having an attitude because you can't, or you don't want to follow instructions? I know people say, I can't follow these instructions. Well, maybe your attitude needs to be positioned to where you need to start thinking positive. Start thinking positive, be in the right mind, and start looking at it and just for what it is. Okay, I get it. The instructions don't really make any sense. Sometimes it doesn't. It doesn't. But when you follow through instructions, you're going to be able to understand how to get through it. Okay? No one. I can tell you right off the bat, if you do a shortcut, it's going to end up in the road that you don't want to go. Okay? So stop taking the shortcuts. Follow instructions, and realize that when you do that, it's going to help you in the long run. Okay? Now, there's one thing you need to understand. You need to actively listen. Okay? Sometimes you or other people or what have not, they just don't listen. Okay? Look, I know if I have to ask a question, okay, I want them to actively repeat that so that way I can hopefully have a grasp and pay attention on what I need to follow instructions, okay? So it doesn't hurt to ask instructions like, hey, I'm sorry, I'm not getting it. I have to go over and try to figure out how to do this again, okay? And believe it or not, by asking, you may have a clear understanding to, follow through. I mean, it's going to be where it's going to be a lot easier for you, okay? Just let's put it that way. It's going to be a lot easier for you, and you're not going to look dumb because you're asking the questions like, man, I look dumb because I'm asking, like, if I don't get it. Look, put your pride aside, okay? Your task is to follow instructions. That's it. That's your task. And why? Because life gets better when you follow instructions, okay? Now, my relationship with God is a day in, day out, okay? How I actively seek God is through His Word and prayer and really following instructions of what God has put in my life, okay? So God can give you the things you need, but you need to follow simple instructions, okay? And, you're probably asking, how is that? Okay, well, look, you know yourself more than anybody else. Okay, how do you get to a place to if you have a relationship with God, and knowing that you know that you haven't been in the Word, you know you haven't been praying, you know you haven't been focused on your actual uh, instructions, and that's the Bible itself. Like you got to get daily instructions, you got to get daily revelation to where it becomes joyful. Okay, now you know if anything, if all fails, write it down. Write it down. Write the instructions down. Okay, and I guarantee you that you'll never forget how the instructions will work unless you write it down. Okay, so write it down because sometimes we're going to forget. So hopefully that actually helps you out today. And that's it. There you have it. I hope this actually helps you out. In the long run, instructions do matter. So start reading it, start following through, and make life easier when you do so. We'll see you in the next video.